Now, what made you choose or decide to start running an equine rescue?
It was actually by accident. I had purchased a ranch, and I was a single mom with a couple of kids, and the kids wanted a horse. So I purchased this horse on payment. And she was given up for a feedling at the place where she was at. The people quit paying her board, so the boarding facility took her over on a feedling, and then sold her to me. I made payment. July 4th, the fireworks came, and we were gone. She had a huge accident. She broke her neck. And the kids and I were just devastated. It was heartbreaking. And people kept saying, Kim, you've got to get another horse for your kids so they can help heal. I can't. I'm still making payments on her. And we just couldn't work it out. And I decided, all right, I'll put a little ad in the local paper asking if anyone had a horse that they didn't want, that we would take this horse in. And my phone rang off the hook. And this Pandora's box to this unwanted horse world opened up to me, and I had no idea that there were all these unwanted horses. But once I knew, I figured I have to do something to help the situation. I have 11 stalls. I can help 11 horses, and that was 1995.
Wow, that is so cool.
And 200 and some horses later, and
wow.
Grand Canyon Hiking Dog Program, and Kitty City, and helping rescue dogs and horses, it's all changed.
Now, since it was kind of by accident, did you have like a business plan or anything set up before, or is it just...
I didn't.
Okay.
So, the ideal situation is you have a business plan if you're going to start a charity, whether it's with animals or not. But because it happened by accident, you're absolutely right. I was just kind of thrown into it, and I decided I can save 11 horses. I worked for Intel Corporation, so I made a decent amount of money, but not a ton of money, being a single mom. And I thought, we'll just take in as many as we can afford, and I think we took in 2 the first year. And then after a while, funding it personally, and I did organize. I had an organizing document, and we did become an organization, but we weren't a 501c3 then, and we didn't get that until the year 2000.
Okay.
So for about 5 years, I ran it privately as an organization and funded it myself, and then you realize really quickly you can't help as many horses with one person, one income.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's when I went about getting the 501c3 so we could get funding, get donors, and broaden our support to animals in need.
Okay. So the 501c3 is recognized you as a charity now, right?
A publicly supported charity where people can take a tax benefit, or, take a tax deduction.
Okay. And was that a hard process to get the organization recognized as that, or like?
I didn't find it to be a hard process. It was lengthy, but I was in a corporate world. I was at Intel, where it's very technical, and the expectation for performance is really high. So for me, the 501c3 wasn't hard. The process was laborious, but when I talk to other people that have tried to get their 501c3 alone, they say, I hired a lawyer, because it was just, and a lot of people do hire a lawyer. So, whether it's hard or not, I think depends on the person's skill set.
Okay.
And whether, I think for most people that are disciplined and process-oriented, it's a piece of cake. It just takes a long time, because the government takes a while.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
And now, from what I understand, since I got ours in 2000, what I understand is the fee is a little bit higher, and the process is a little bit more stringent. But I've helped a couple of other organizations get theirs in the past few years. And the reason the government makes it more stringent is because they want to weed out a lot of people just looking to create a fake charity.
Exactly. So, okay. Now, what type of experience or education did you have prior to this, or was it just because you've grown up around horses, or?
I grew up in the ghetto. In the inner city, no horses around. So there are two sides to that answer.
Mhm.
The horse experience, I had none. And you kind of learn by fire and learn by doing. And I will say that running a horse rescue is the best way to get your skill set up on handling horses, because you deal with all types, from completely calm domestic to wild Mustangs that have never seen a human before. So it's a really great way to get your training. And we're Pirelli people, so that's what this shirt is all about, which is Pirelli horsemanship, natural horsemanship. So no experience in the horse world at all. But I had a lot of corporate experience and a lot of process-oriented experience, and that I would say my time at Intel is really what helped me run this business.
Okay. And now some people I've talked to, on top of their charity or their rescue organization, have another business that they're working at or using to help fund. Now, do you have another job or business on top of this, or is this your main focus?
I was just laughing because I don't know if you heard her in the background.
Yeah.
Making noises back there. In the beginning, I had a job.
Okay.
Because there's not money in charity work. And if you are one of the founders or CEOs or one of the officers, there's no salary there. So I did have a job for a long while. And in addition to having my job at Intel, I had investments in other, where I had other money coming in. And when I decided to finally leave Intel and do this full time, I still don't take a salary from Wild Horse Ranch Rescue. So that's something a person has to think about. How am I going to support myself in addition to doing this charity work? Because it's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And it's a huge commitment, and it's passion, which doesn't often pay.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, definitely plan on some other way to make money.
Okay. And speaking of work hours, what do your work hours generally look like for the week? Or
those vary depending on what we've going on. If we're running a film festival or if we're doing the National Wild Horse Adoption event, our hours can be 12, 15, 16 hours long.
Okay.
When we're preparing for an event or a huge adoption event. I would say on the average, I'm a workaholic, so my days are probably 10, 12-hour days, and it's usually 7 days a week, but not always 10 or 12 hours. Like maybe on Sunday I'll only work a few hours or work on one project that I'm really interested in or that I've got a deadline on. I find that because I love helping the animals so much and I really love running a rescue, I have to schedule time off. I have to make myself okay, just stop, go do something fun, go rent a boat and go on the lake.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people. I'll just work, and every time I finish one thing, I've got a million ideas for something else. But that tells you it's something you love to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But the great thing about running your own charity is it's like that line from Pretty Woman. You say who, you say when, you say how much. You decide, do I want to work 80 hours, do I want to work 12 hours? It depends on how successful or how much you want to get done, how successful you want to be.
Okay. Now do you have employees here, or is it just all volunteer basis? And
for us, it's all volunteers.
Okay.
Other organizations will have hired staff. We'd like to get to that point because there are some things that it's important to hire a skill set for.
Yeah.
But right now we're all volunteer based.
Okay. And over the past couple years, how has the economy impacted the ranch? What was the biggest effect of that?
The biggest effect, we've been really lucky that our donors are pretty consistent. So even when economic times are rough, we're still lucky in the donor department. Where we get hit really hard when economics go bad are people who have a horse on their own property and then lose their home. So when a lot of people lost their homes or homes went into foreclosure, the way we got hit is all these horses that had nowhere to go. If you can't afford your home, you certainly can't afford to board your horses.
Yeah.
In fact, we took in a couple of horses that were just left at homes that were foreclosed upon. So that's where it hit us. Our donor base has been amazing.
Okay. And what are some of your future plans for the horses and the charity?
What we'd like to do, since we're only on 1.25 acres, we'd like to get a little more land so that we can do some educational clinics and help people understand how to take care of their horse, or help people with behavioral problems, because 85% of first-time horse owners get rid of their horse within the first 5 years for a million different reasons. And that's where our Pirelli natural horsemanship comes into play. We can help people handle horses from the benign domestic to the wild Mustang, and every horse personality, which they call horsenality, in between. So our goal would be to have some land where we can help keep horses in their current home. And that's part of our future plan.
Okay. And since starting your organization, what has been your favorite experience or event that that has happened?
I would have to say when we worked with the National Wild Horse Adoption Day people, we had 8 wild Mustangs delivered to us in the Prescott area, and we spent 2 months getting them used to humans and getting them able to take a halter on their face. Some of them even got to play a couple of games with us on a lead rope. So honestly, the first time a wild Mustang trusts you enough to touch your hand, you just want to cry. Because when you first show up and they're all in the pens and the BLM has dropped them off and they've never even been around a human, and you just walk near them, they all kind of go crazy, and some of them will rush into a corner and almost hurt themselves. So to go from just your presence making them flee to seeing one reach out and actually sniff your hand and touch you, that first touch is just, it's incredible.
That's awesome. And the last question is, do you have any words of advice for someone who's interested in starting their own horse rescue? Or?
Yes. Make sure you really know what you're getting into. I have people come to me a lot asking about starting a horse rescue, and a lot of them have reality-based ideas about it, and some have this dream-like experience in their head. And my job is to convince them that they don't want to do it. And if after I convince them and keep telling them why they shouldn't do it, they still want to do it, then you know they're the right person.
Okay. Well, that was it. Thank you.
All right.